overweight behind in the gym. I'm just coming through to say, hey, what's up? What's popping? Hopefully y'all doing all right. Um, and I'm seeing where America is starting to really understand what's at stake. I'm not sure if you're seeing it, but I'm definitely seeing where America is starting to see what's at stake. You had RFK Jr. come out and side with Don Don. Today, Tulsi Gabbard came out and endorsed Don Don. Now, keep in mind, these are all Democrat Party rejects. People the party itself rejected, not the people, but the party rejected. And each and every one of those rejects has an audience of people that like them. And the more people come over like that, the harder it is for them to justify a steal, because mathematically it becomes impossible. And all the evidence is there to where it's mathematically impossible for an election steal. So it's a wise move by Donald Trump, which, I mean, he's a savage businessman. I don't anticipate anything less from him than to do stuff like that. The only problem I see is I don't know if the American people minus the civics classes that we got when we were kids in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, excluding them having that, I'm not sure if they are aware of how all this works. To a certain extent, I think a lot of people are ignorant to how it works. For example, they're ignorant to polling numbers. They're ignorant to the overall number of people in the United States and what the percentages actually mean. And so I think that causes a little bit of a confusion in the realm of politics. But nonetheless, even with that confusion, there's mathematically, it's almost to the point where it's impossible for her to win, except for extra ballots coming in. Again, let's just look at it this way. Prior to the RFK endorsement, there was a poll on Twitter that said that Donald Trump led her 73% to what would be 26% or 27%. Another 3 to 5% came with the endorsement of RFK Jr. So let's move that to 76%. We just had an endorsement from Tulsi Gabbard. Let's say Tulsi Gabbard is worth another 1 point. So we're at 77%. So you're talking about 77 and 33. Yeah. No, 77 to 23. 27. And there's no way. I mean, yeah, 77, 23. There's no way. There's no way at all that she can win this election. You know what I'm saying? She's done. Her goose is cooked. And then you add in the fact that they're not letting her interview. And then you add in the fact that when she finally speaks, she's going to speak on a stage where her opponent is Donald Trump. You're looking at an explosive situation coming down the pipeline. I mean, so explosive that, quite frankly, I don't think the lady will overcome the destruction that's going to be wrought on her. I just don't see her getting around it. From a political standpoint, I don't see her getting past it. So I can see them canceling all debates, worming their way out of every debate. Locking her in the basement and then stuffing the ballots as much as they can, or trying to stuff the ballots as much as they can. Because if she takes another hit like she's been taking, I mean, the only perfect strike now would be a strike to the Latino community against her. And that strike, like something that has to do with the Latino community, like a Democrat that's strongly supported by the Latino community coming over to Donald Trump's side. I mean, that's the only thing left. That's the only card I would play if I was Donald Trump at this point in time. You know what I'm saying? It's the only card I will play. Because if you could play that card, you devastate her. But it's got to be somebody coming over that has, with an endorsement from the Democratic Party that has super strong backing, which I'm not sure who that is because they're still all the damn elections anyway. So I'm not sure who they could use. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not sure. I'm not sure what they could use. But if that happens, you're gonna have a problem. The reason why I would like to see that is because if you can get the word of mouth. Notice who was not there yet. I'm not sure who was not. Tell me who was not there. If you could just get the word of mouth in that community running, to where it'll start getting to some of the illegals that have come over. Like if you could just plant the seed, and no. They promise you jobs. They promise you all this stuff. But at the end of the day, you're not gonna have no job. You're gonna be on a government dole, and robots is gonna take over all the jobs anyway. You would destroy them, which I think they're pretty much destroyed right now. I think they're pretty much destroyed right now. I like the concept and the idea of RFK Jr. being over the CIA, the head of the CIA, which would be awesome, which would be great. Give him an opportunity to go and clean up the house that took blood, that shed blood on his family, of his family. Roseanne Barr said there won't be an election. Roseanne Barr is a damn retard. Stop listening to people like that. Southern accent of romance. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Margaret. There can't not be an election. Just so you understand. The American public is too far awake for there not to be an election. You can't cancel the election. We can sit here and say we got bird flu, we got swine flu, we got dengue fever, we got all it. We done moved past that. You know what I'm saying? We done moved past that. Again, Roseanne Barr is a damn retard. Look at her historical background of what she said and what she's done. Roseanne Barr is a retard. That's the problem people have. Like, if you're gonna go try and take advice or worry about something that someone says, look at the history of the person. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. I'll get rid of this dude doing non-sequentials. Those are some good non-sequentials, by the way, but you're out of here. So you want to look at the background of the person that's talking. So, for example, if I wanted to know there was going to be a canceled election, I would go look at a Roger Stone, somebody who was in White Houses, that's been a political operative forever, and I would see what he has to say. On the other side, I go look at somebody like Jim Carvell. I would go look at those people who have a deep understanding, like this person is saying, of the history of these things, not a celebrity. That's like listening to Whoopi Goldberg. That's why we got in this problem in the first place, because people want to listen to celebrities. You know what I'm saying? It's all right. Roseanne don't know what the fuck she's talking about. And I know she's a strong conservative, but Roseanne don't know what the fuck she's talking about. There's been this other thing going on that I think is about time it happened. In the Christian community of YouTube, I've experienced this recently. And I was wondering when the Lord was going to bring this to a head. Most Christians, this is going to sound real mean, but most Christians are ignorant to the devices of the devil. And so you see where witches, sorcerers, and diviners speak prophetic words over people pretending to be a Christian, and then real Christians who are babes in the kingdom of God come along and they come into agreement with that person using their dominion given by God, and they help that person hunt the souls of individuals. And that's something that finally the Lord is bringing to a head and exposing all those soul hunters and soul gatherers. And the craziest thing is, from a spiritual perspective, that witch who goes out, or that false prophet who goes out and prophesies over people, and then the Christian come in behind them and say, oh, I agree with you, and the word of God says this. They don't understand that they're trying their best to build a court case in the courts of heaven against an individual. You know what I'm saying? There's not too many denominations of Christianity. You worry about the wrong thing. You worry about the wrong thing. You should come to a Bible study and learn something, Alex. And so what ends up happening is you're taking that prophetic word and you're energizing it, and you're charging it, and you're moving it forward in somebody's life. And if that person doesn't understand how to condemn those tongues that speak against them, you're going to find yourself in a huge problem. And so YouTube has been full of that recently. I mean, really full of it. To where people come out and they prophesy. They come out, they speak lies, they speak leasing. And then other people come behind them because they're just confused. Honestly, quite frankly, they're confused and lost. And then they just put all that willpower behind it. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. And I'm happy because one of the biggest people that was doing it finally is getting hit. And it's funny because the way Satan plays his hand is he always oversteps his boundaries. And so the Lord started sending prophets from Africa and Nigeria to America to give words to the nation. I'm powerful prophets. I'm talking about hardcore dudes. He said about 6 of them. All of them came to America. I mean, they all came back to back to back to back to back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the minute they touched the soil, people started trying to prophesy against them. And I was like, boy, this is going to end bad. And sure enough, it ended bad real quick, fast, and in a hurry. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, fast, and in a hurry. I'm happy to see that going on. I really am happy to see that going on because that's one of the problems that this nation has. So, for example, if you go and look, you'll see, you'll go out and you'll see people who they'll tell you America is Babylon, America is doomed, America is going to fall. And if you've been with me for a while, you've seen where I talked about this, that in Nineveh itself, which was a wicked, wicked nation. Nineveh, if you ever read the Bible, Nineveh fasted. Even their animals fasted. And the Lord saved them from his judgment. You know what I'm saying? And so he saved them from that judgment. And he spared them. But you got people prophesying over America that are Christians. Oh, we're doomed. We're living in the last days. Everything's going to come to an end. We're going to do this. And as long as that narrative is there, nobody wants to go repent and say that they're sorry. And so you making a self-fulfilling prophecy by prophesying death and destruction on your own family. And it's crazy. Can we get the likes up to at least 100, guys? We have 49 people. So it's wild, man. It's absolutely wild. And social media makes those things possible. It's such a positive thing, but it makes it possible it makes it possible for like people to garner energy like a rocket and shoot it at somebody. You know what I'm saying? It really does. So the people asking about the name, whether it's Jesus, Yeshua, Yahuwah, I say this to people who don't understand this, and I'm gonna keep it 100% with you. If you ever had an experience with Jesus Christ, Christ Jesus, Yeshua, then you know the name portion that everybody's focused on is probably the most insignificant thing there is. If you ever been to the courts of heaven to represent yourself or your family or a city or a territory, then you know when you go in Jesus' name, in the name of Christ Jesus, more importantly, you go with the understanding of the sacrifice that was made. I mean, from the blood, sweating blood in the Garden of Gethsemane, falling on his face in the Garden of Gethsemane, being walked for 2 miles in one direction and a mile in another direction, a mile in another direction, going through trials and tribulations, and then getting beat and skin ripped off his body, then you know that's a bunch of foolishness that's for somebody to be worrying about. And it's a huge distraction. And that's all I'm going to tell you. You can call him whoever you want to call him. But when you know him, you truly understand that it's a distraction. Because there's so many dimensions of him. There's a lot of names that go through the attributes of him. The Lord of hosts. The one who walked on water. And so if you understand him and the kingdom, then there's many names you'll address him by. And so you won't be focused on those names because you have a relationship. Unfortunately, most people who focus on that alone don't really have a relationship. And unfortunately, that arguing back and forth really confuses a lot of people. But you can do whatever you want to do. You got to deal on that. There was a study by the Journal of Medicine that Jesus died of a broken heart on a cross because of all the trauma he went through. You know what I'm saying? And that's all it is to it. So if you don't believe, you got the right not to believe whatever you want to believe. You want to call him name, whatever you call him, whatever name you want to call him. But I'm just telling you, you wasting time. And you wasting time in your relationship with him trying to argue with people about a name. I ain't gonna argue with you about a name. I just go sit in the courts of heaven and have a conversation with him. And that's just that. All right. Back to the political aspect of it. One of the things that I really liked that I saw coming out of the convention was, and I think I said this Friday, was after the Democratic National Convention, the first thing that hit was the RFK endorsement. Today, the next thing that hit was the Tulsi Gabbard endorsement. And so now what's happening is they're occupying the headlines and they're occupying the talking points with positive news. And it's very hard for Kamala's campaign to actually break in because she has to do something significant. And if you keep that pressure on, where there's constantly new things evolving, so you got new endorsements, you got new attacks on her campaign, she has to do something significant for the media to prop her up. Remember, they've been propping her up for over a month now since she was ordained as the Democratic nominee. Gavin Newsom came out on a podcast just recently, and Gavin, they asked him how he felt about it. If you go watch it, Gavin Newsom starts to giggle and laugh, and he says, well, you know, they said she was selected in an open and fair process, and that they're calling it inclusion. And so a lot of people took it like he was joking. The way I saw it, looking at him, was he was pissed, but he was like, I'm going to be a team player, but y'all know this a whole bunch of BS. And honestly, I'll tell you, Gavin Newsom, Gruesome Newsom, the vampire Newsom was a much more deadly political opponent than she would have ever been. I mean, I don't really care for him. I don't think what he did as far as the state of California is great. But if you was gonna pick somebody, man, he was one that would be a problem. But I don't think he's a person that could have been controlled easily. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's a I don't think he's a person that could have been controlled easily. All right, Alex, you want to sit here and debate, so we're gonna get rid of you because you know, bro, go get a YouTube channel and talk about what you want to talk about. Stop trying to distract my chat with the foolishness. Well, Tulsi's on the watch list because Tulsi mollywop Kamala. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And that's all it is to her. And she's a threat to them. If you've ever seen the debate between Tulsi and Kamala, in fact, just go look at the debate where Tulsi was on the stage. You see Tulsi there, and she stands out and shines compared to everybody else. You knew she was different in that moment, and she represented something different than everybody else on the stage. She was dressed in all white. She was radiant and glowing talking. And that's something that they can't have on stage next to a Kamala or anybody else, because there's a presence inside of her that's reflected to the outside. And they can't stand that. That's why they waited so long for Joe to go to a debate. You know what I'm saying? I don't do Dog Man and Cryptid anymore. I've told people a lot of times go on and check out Jeff Nadami and Vic Cundiff. I don't do none of that anymore. And so it's one of those plays to where the juxtaposition when it's in your face is obvious. Just like the juxtaposition when J.D. Vance finally debates Tim Walz, you're going to see it. I told y'all before, the first time I saw that man's face and I looked in his eyes, there was something not right with him. You go look at his face and look in his eyes and tell me if he don't look like one of them diddlers. Just go look at him. You know what I'm saying? Go look at him. So they can't have those juxtapositions in the public's eye, which is why I think they're gonna have to cancel the debate with Trump somehow, some way. You know what I'm saying? Because that juxtaposition between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, when he starts talking and she starts talking, bro, you're gonna see people gonna see it's night and day. You know what I'm saying? Period. They're going to see it's night and day. And it's going to be a problem for them. It's okay when they have that echo chamber that they've been using, where everybody's like, rah, rah, choo, choo, rah. But you see the minute they get outside the echo chamber and they put a microphone in anybody's face that's not a part of the echo chamber, the people are like, nah, we don't rock with them. They're garbage. Nah, I don't like that person. And so they have to maintain that chamber in some way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. I mean, truly, that's what it is. There already been an unprecedented sway of Democrats voting Republicans because black men have overwhelmingly moved to the Republican Party. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's already been that. It's already been that. That has already been accomplished. See, the problem is the media won't show real poll numbers. I mean, they just won't show real poll numbers. Because they won't show any real poll numbers, it's harder to see. I mean, it's already happened. The easiest way to see what's going on is go look at the man about the streets. Perfect example. Take Don Lemon. Go look at Don Lemon's man on the streets. And you see it right then and there immediately. And Don Lemon was going to find black women because he thought in his mind, historically, black women were supposed to support a Democratic Party. So if I want to get the response I want, I'm going to go to black women. He went there, boom, didn't even get what he wanted. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's all laid out right in front of you to see. Those who want to see it, going to see it. Those who don't want to see it, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be what it's going to be. It's going to be what it's going to be. I'll tell you one thing. There's still this election. We all screwed. Democrat, Republican, you screwed. They get this one, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? They get this one, it's a wrap. It's a whole wrap for everybody. You already see them pre-programming it in the UK and in London. You see them pre-programming it in France with the arrest of the CEO of Telegram. Of course, he's gonna call me when I'm live. You see them programming it everywhere, and don't for a second think that the guy arrested in France, it didn't have anything to do with America's government. Of course, it had to do with America's government, America's deep state. So it's pre-programmed. You see what's happening in France and in Germany and all those places in the streets, where men are walking with their kids down the street and getting stabbed in the neck. You're gonna see that here if it goes that route. You're gonna see them borders be wide open, unlike you've never seen before. They're gonna stop flying them in like they're doing now. They just gonna open it up because they have to. This election shows that nobody's supporting them. So if they want to even keep up the appearance of there's an election process in America, you're gonna have to import so many more people in here. Is ridiculous. Because now people are seeing it. When the hood in Chicago starts saying, hold on, man, they giving illegals $15,000 a month in food stamps and then $5,000 cash, giving them $20,000 a month. And the hood is like, yo, what's up with this? It's not hitting anymore. It's not. So they're going to have to go for broke, baby. When you see them trying to assassinate a presidential candidate, they're going for broke. You don't go for broke just to be nice when it's all said and done. You got to literally break everything. You got to seize that opportunity and just break the whole system, break everybody's will. And so they win, they're coming for your neck. Point blank, period. You talking about I got the First Amendment, I can say, no, we ain't going to be able to say nothing. You banned on YouTube, banned on, everybody getting banned. There will be no opposition. There will be no free speech. And I submit to you, the only reason why you haven't seen regimes around the world that are part of the deep state crackdown is because they know there's a possibility that in America they won't win. And if they go too far, there's a possibility that there's going to be repercussions. You know what I'm saying? And that's all it is to it. That's all it is to it. So yeah, we're in a dangerous time, man. Man, these two little dudes got one more time to do that. At the third time pulling up, like slowing down, trying to and looping around. You got one. You got one more time. Let me show you some sports out here in the streets. So, yeah, we're in a dangerous time, guys. It's a beautiful time because people are waking up everywhere. And when you see the good people inside the Democrat Party joining with the Republican Party, um, you know something special is afoot. And you know that people have come to the realization that if these people win, there will be no America. Not as we know it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said they're lizards. I'm pretty sure they are lizards. Some of them got to be lizard people. You know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty, if I had to say my percentage believing that we gonna get through it, I would say it's 92%. You dig? I think we gonna get through it. For sure. It's just a matter of how much damage we gonna suffer from, if I'm not mistaken, November 6th to January 20th. How much damage they gonna do in that time period? Because you best to believe after Trump win this election, they're gonna unleash their hordes of people to try and burn down cities, shoot, tear up power grids, do all kind of stuff. You best believe it's going down. I mean, they gonna tear stuff up. The difference is, the last time they went through this process of releasing their little armies, people, you had a certain segment of the population that was caught up in George Floyd, and they were weaponized and used. And I don't see them being weaponized and used this time again. And I don't see them allowing people to come into their neighborhoods and burn down their neighborhoods like they did before. I just don't see it. I agree. We all do have to pray. That's why I pray about it daily. I don't see you going into the hood and burning it down and looting anymore. I just don't. I don't see it. I don't even see. In fact, I can give you evidence to it. There was a young lady that was in the news. The cop shot her in her house. She's like, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus Christ." She had boiling water. Like the boiling water was going to actually kill him. And he shot her. Forgot the lady's name. But if you take that same event, pick it up, and take it into the past 2.5 years and drop it, cities would have burned over that event. Now, that cop got arrested. He's going to prison. God rest her soul. I'm sorry that happened to her. There's no excuse for that. But it just goes to show you how far the nation has come. And it was, they did it in the summertime. Because remember, 2 summers ago, it was called the Summer of Rage and Violence. And they were pre-programming it as the Summer of Rage and Violence. So it happened again in the summer. Poor summer. You know what I'm saying? You guys don't know every season is alive. Winter, spring, summer, fall, they're alive. Summer bears the burden of so much foolishness. I feel sorry for summer sometimes. But nonetheless, you don't see that same reaction. And I submit to you, prior to George Floyd, you didn't see that reaction. No, there was some guys there was one more prior to George Floyd. George Floyd was the icing on the cake. There was one more prior to that, where there was that crazy, we're going to burn it down reaction. You don't see those reactions anymore. Why? Because those people figured out, hold on, man, they're using us. Like, yeah. We get upset, we burn down our neighborhood, man. We can't be doing this. You know what I'm saying? And so they don't have that. So guess what? They got to march out into the street. They got to march out in Antifa. And this time when they march out in Antifa, they got to roll out their terrorist cells, and they got to roll out the Islamics that they got. They don't roll out a whole bunch of stuff. But this time, I believe that when they roll out the foolishness, it's going to be don't start none, don't get none. Or don't start none, won't be none. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever heard of the book of two chairs? You sit in one chair, invite God to sit in the other chair and talk, and my son is doing this in exchange of his life. Good for him. But who is God? Because God is an office and a title. Just make sure you're asking the right person to sit next to you. Truth of the matter is, God lives within you. The entirety of the Godhead. Jesus, the Holy Spirit, and God the Father live inside of you. He ain't next to you, he in you. So you're always with you. That's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? Biblically, that's the truth. Again, I ask you, who is God? They got people, there's more than one heaven. And I've talked, again, you got to excuse me. I dealt with witches. I come from the paranormal field where I deal with witches who will sit there and say, oh, I worship God. And their God is Leviathan. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I worship God. Their God is Satan. They say, I believe in Jesus. I'm a Christian. But the Jesus that they're talking about ain't the same Jesus we talking about. Jesus they talking about is went to a Buddhist mystery school to do all these different things, and then he can learn all these things. He learned everything from the mystery schools. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say, who is God? And I always tell people this: God is an office to that individual. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I know who the God is. I'm just saying, I'm just making a point to the people here. Trust me, I know who God is. So I would say, I don't know. I'm not being arrogant, but I don't really need a chair. You dig? Just make sure you know what God he's talking to. You dig? It's a nice little Porsche this dude driving around in. It's a nice little Porsche. That's one of the craziest things about America. I think I know people take the kindness of the American people for weakness. You know what I'm saying? They really do take the kindness of the American people for weakness. It really ain't no form of weakness. Hold on a second, guys. I'm gonna have to call this dude and get off this live stream. I told y'all a story about a school where we was having problems with this liberal teacher, and this lady done lost her mind, and she's demanding to speak to the board, which I don't understand what she think I'm gonna tell her no different than what I told her before as the chairman of the board. Like I don't mince my words. Lady, I don't care how you feel about the little boys not being able to wear earrings in school. You ain't gonna wear no earrings in the classes that we have. If you won't wear earrings, you're gonna sit your little behind outside. And ain't nothing this lady gonna do to make us allow him to have no earring in the class. The only thing they're gonna do is they're gonna have us pull our lead instructor out of there, which is the one that brings all the discipline, and bring another instructor in there. And then they're gonna see the difference, and all the kids gonna go run wild and they're gonna act crazy. But you still gonna pay the contract, you're still gonna do what you need to do. This is what I don't understand. I don't even get it. You're not gonna win. But she won't talk to me. You're not finna win this argument. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna win it. Kids do not get to decide what's best for them. Boy, you 15 years old. You barely know your head from your behind. And that's the problem we got. Everybody act like kids is adults. They ain't adults. They don't know nothing. They're ignorant, dumb. Just like I was ignorant and dumb when I was 15. Just like many of y'all was ignorant and dumb when you was 15. But everybody will act like they kids is grown. The better word is immature. Yeah, immature. Yeah. I'm going to use the word dumb, though. They have to learn. And you don't learn by just getting your way. And you definitely don't teach a boy to be a man by giving him his way. This world ain't going to give you your way. There ain't nobody just going to give you what you want in this world. That's not how the world works. You know what I'm saying? But they keep on doing this. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. And then what gets me is, you want to talk to me now. Like, I don't have nothing else to do but to talk to you when you're ready to talk. If you're going to get a chance to talk to me now, though, that's okay. You ain't about to like what you're going to hear. If you're going to get a chance to talk, you know what I'm saying? Man, I almost died plenty of times when I was 15, 16, 17, 18. Hell, growing up in New Orleans, I was lucky to make it to 19. In New Orleans, man, when you made it to 18 years old, you celebrated because you're supposed to be dead. Whether by circumstance, whether by association, or by random crazy stuff that just happened where you was. That boy ain't even past the danger years of being from New Orleans and born and raised here in New Orleans. You ain't really safe till you move out of there. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. And she don't know none of that. She don't know none of that. But I got a surprise for her. We're gonna have an event at Hunter's Park. And I'm gonna have her come to the event at Hunter's Park so she can really see what New Orleans is. But I looked into her. She moved to New Orleans from California. She live uptown off of Red Street in a gentrified neighborhood. Matter of fact, she lived about 4 blocks from where Baby and the Slim and them came up. Gentrified neighborhood is all good because the Savages done moved out of that neighborhood. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have them come to the event where the Savages is on the day when they out. You know what I'm saying? When they out in full array and adornment in their beauty, in their glory. I'm gonna say, stand right here next to me. When you get scared, don't move. You want to see what New Orleans really is. Stay right here. Don't move. Because I want you to see what he gonna end up being if you don't leave him alone. And we gonna see how much she know. You know what I'm saying? And they come out there with all gold slugs in my mouth. What's happening, Uncle? What's up, Woody? Wow. You gonna see. Crazy, right? He said, well, I agree with her because she's from Harvard. Kiss my behind. But I think that's what has to happen to a lot of these people, man, because they don't understand what that kid faces when he leaves the school. You understand why it's important that that kid has the ability to follow some type of instruction. Because out of them streets going to teach him how to follow instructions. The police going to teach him how to follow instructions. Oh, you going to teach him how to follow instructions. You're going to teach him not to succumb to peer pressure. And the world don't go the way you want it to go. Because outside of that environment, everything else teaches a life or death lesson. And there, it's not a life or death lesson. You dig? And there, he got another opportunity. Once you get out there, man, this life or death, bro. I mean, it's life or death. You make the wrong decision, that's your ass. You decide to get in the wrong car with the wrong people, that's your ass. And that's just what it boils down to. That's what it boils down to. And that's the problem that we got. You got people teaching children that come from environments that they don't come from. And those people don't have no life skills at all. And so they instill those skills that they think are life skills on those kids. You ain't got no skills to survive nothing. Nothing at all. In fact, they had a fight at the school. I'm talking about a brawl at the school. Our instructor walks down the hallway. He don't say nothing. He walk in the hallway and the fight stop. You open the door and the fight stop. Because everybody doesn't know that if that instructor start fighting, all y'all getting y'all butt whooped. Boop, just like that. And it's crazy. Same thing when I was teaching. Going into schools, talking about financial literacy. They wilding. Teacher like Mr. Williams, you know, these boys in there arguing, fight, I walk in the room. Hey, bro, sit down. One dude. You gonna make me sit down? I would love for you to give me the opportunity to make you sit your little ass down. Remember, son, I'm not a teacher. I'm not paid to be here. I'm volunteering. I'd be more than happy to show you how to sit your little skinny ass down, little boy. And guess what he did? Sat down. That was that. Please give me the opportunity to show you. What? It's all boys' schools. You got to deal with them. They're men. They're little men coming up. You can't teach them like little children. They're little men. And it is what it is. And the world ain't gonna treat you like no little boy. Ain't gonna treat you like your mama's boy either. All it's gonna be is, oh, they killed my baby. My baby was so sweet. They killed my baby. He ain't never did nothing to nobody. He ain't never hurt nobody. Why they took my baby? Lord, they took my baby. Your baby running around here terrorizing everybody. And you wonder why they took your baby. The solution is men being in the classroom. Incentivize men to be teachers and send men into the classrooms. Pay off student loan debt for men to go in the classrooms all over the United States and watch how the education system changes. You got a man who went to school for science and math. Hey man, you know that damn student loan is hardcore if you go teach. Now, we don't want nobody that had no liberal arts degree. I have a real degree, math or science. You can go to school right here and teach. And the more the more hood the school is, the more your debt get released and the more money you get paid. Send them into them schools. Watch what happens. Done deal. Done deal. Because you can sit there and intimidate a woman. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to my... Man, you ain't doing nothing to nobody, homie. You're young. That's how you solve the problem. It's not that hard to solve. Not that hard to solve at all, but we got to appreciate masculinity and manhood. One of the things that we don't appreciate in this country anymore, because the different movements they got going on. You got to appreciate masculinity and manhood. I'm telling you, when I was in there, I let them shoot a fair one. You want to fight? Hey, all right, I got gloves in the car. I'm coming right back. I'm gonna get these gloves. What? Y'all gonna shoot a fair one. Come on. Move them chairs out the way. Move them chairs back. Here you go. Shoot a fair one. Do what you gotta do. Get your behind whoop. You want to shoot a fair one tomorrow? We'll let you shoot another one tomorrow. We ain't finna be shooting, stabbing nobody. You take that ass whooping like a man. And here's the craziest thing. Them dudes that would fight each other, they hated each other. They'd be cool. They'd be friends after that, just like it used to be when I was a kid. That's like one of the kids. Never forget this. He run around chasing another kid around school a whole day. My partner Slim, basketball coach, athletic director. We talking. I'm like, man, why is he chasing this dude? Man, I don't know. I'm talking about chasing dude all day long. Every time they got a class, chasing. I said, bro, why is he chasing this dude, bro? We finally catch up with him. I said, bro, why is you chasing this man? He said that he was going to jack my brother's chain. And we looking at each other like, and I'm like, hold on, bro. So what you trying to tell me is you chasing this man trying to fight him because he said he going to steal your brother fake ass chain? Because we know the chain ain't real. Brother got those fake diamonds on. Them gas station diamonds. You ever been to the gas station in the hood? They had a little diamond chains in there. This boy got gas station diamonds on, man. And you chasing him over gas station diamonds? And he thought about it. Oh, yeah. You about to get kicked out of school over gas station diamonds. I tell you what, he get your brother gas station diamond chain, I'll go give him another gas station diamond chain. How about that? Let that go. Gas station diamonds. Crazy. Those older teachers are burnt out. They want to quit and retire because you moved the men out of the classrooms. You put a burden on female teachers that they can't bear. Sorry. They're not going to be able to bear that burden. You know what I'm saying? They just can't bear it. It flipped everything upside down. A male role model, a father teaches a man how to be a son, and a father teaches a daughter how a man should treat her. That's the father's role. That's the male's role. So in the context of a school where you got children that don't have parents, or got one parent and not the other parent, that man's going to teach a young man how to be a man. That man's going to teach that young lady how she should expect to be treated and respected. Not based on words, but based on actions. And that's what we've seen. And the other thing about somebody from the outside coming in is this. You see, when you come in from the outside, kids, they feel more free to ask you questions. So I remember one day, I'm in a school, and we're talking about everybody's cell phone and social media. And I'm sitting there saying, listen, you need a man in the house. Well, Uncle Ruckus, that you can't change the man being in the house or not. You know what I'm saying? You got to solve the problem where it is. That's generational stuff. You ain't about to flip that overnight. But watch this. I'm sitting there saying, look, how many of y'all in here won't make some money? Everybody raise their hand up. How many of y'all got a cell phone? Everybody raise their hand up. Take out your cell phone. Everybody take out their cell phone. How many of y'all got TikTok? Everybody got TikTok. How many of y'all got Snapchat? Everybody got Snapchat. How many of y'all monetized on TikTok or Snapchat? Nobody. I said, so what are you doing on your social media? Well, I be looking at what my friends doing. I look at my friend Instagram. I said, that's where you messed up at. Every last one of y'all got the potential to make $2,000-$3,000 of money at this age right now. But you spending your time looking at foolishness. And I went through the process of explaining them that content is a currency. And to this day, Out of those kids, about 20 of them are content creators. One of them became such a damn good content creator, skipped college, everything, just making money. You see what I'm saying? So it's really about what you pour into them, as opposed to what you got to pour into them kids, man. They're smart. Actually, you don't survive in those environments unless you are smart. They're cunning. You don't survive in those environments unless you are cunning. They got every tool that it takes to be successful. They faced adversity. They faced everything. All the things that make a great person, they've already faced them. And they face them daily. That's why I would tell them all the time, be like, man, I would pick any of y'all over a private school kid there is, except for one of my sons, because y'all ain't about to eat none of my sons' lunch because they come from my bloodline and we do what we do. But any other private school kid, oh, yeah, I'll pick one of y'all over them any day. And they'd be sitting there looking at me like, yo, this is crazy. Yeah, because I know what you come from. And I know when adversity hits you, you going to find a way through it. As long as you got the right upbringing, the right teaching behind you. Because you done seen it all. You done been hungry. When you go to college and everybody else complaining about they hungry, they got to eat ramen noodles. You done ate that before. That ain't nothing new for you. They struggling. You ain't struggling. You can focus. You can grind. You can make it happen. They going through these adjustment periods. You like, nah, this actually better for me. I got peace. I got quiet. I got my own space. I got my own little TV. You gotta talk to them, man. You gotta talk to them. You gotta talk to them. I'm gonna tell you the most important and excited person I'm excited about working on the Trump administration is Elon Musk. Pretty sure that's her right there. She gonna wait. I'm excited about Elon being a part of that administration. I'm really excited about it. Because I want to see what happens when you bring that level of intelligence actually inside of an administration where at an advisory role capacity and start to address some of the major issues and problems we have. Why Elon? Because Elon got beef with the woke people. And he got full on beef with the woke agenda. Besides, I don't know if people realize this or not, but if you're going to take on a permanent bureaucracy, you can't really use anybody from inside that bureaucracy. That's what we saw Trump's first term. And we saw him get his hands and feet tied at every turn. And he still pulled off a lot. You really got to bring people from outside the bureaucracy in to destroy it. But you got to bring in smart, intelligent people to literally lay waste to it. So you got RFK talking about he coming in and he want to deal with health overall, which I would love to see him do it, but I don't think they're going to allow it. I don't think they're going to approve him for a board seat where he's over the FDA or has anything to do with the FDA. I just don't see it happening. I would love to see it because I think he'll solve a lot of the problems. And did y'all see the news art where he came out and he gave a percentage? He said 50% of the FDA's budget comes from big pharmacy and big pharmaceutical companies, right? The government, FDA, came out and said, no, that's not an accurate number. 47% comes from big pharma. And I'm like, this is how dumb the people are. 50%, 47%. I wouldn't have said nothing if I was going to say 47%. If you couldn't tell me 10%, I wouldn't open my mouth. But they just confirmed what he was saying. Okay, 3% off. That's still way too much money coming in from Big Pharma, and they have way too much influence over the FDA, which approves all our drugs and our medicines. We already know that because we know what we went through a couple of years ago, right? Where they're finding out all the negative side effects of what they made everybody take. We seen that. So it ain't like it's a secret. I had a friend of mine call me the other day. Boy done had COVID 4 times in a row. That took everything they gave him. And he finally says, I think this is a scam. Guess what? James Williams said. I ain't say nothing. I just kind of smirked and giggled. Yeah, maybe a scam, brother. Because some people going to have to figure it out on their own. It took you way longer than everybody else to get to the point to where the brainwashing was broke. And now you figure it's a scam because you keep getting sick every week. But at least you got there. You know what I'm saying? He still ain't at the point where I can have a conversation with him about reversing what was done to him. That'll probably happen next year. My man, I've been studying. I realized this is this. Okay, well, take this, and it'll undo it. But why you didn't tell me? Because you weren't ready for it. Because you wanted to argue. You wanted to fight with me. And I'm not going to argue and fight with you. I figure, may the Lord reveal it to you. And you figure it out on your own, buddy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people lost everything because of that. A lot of people lost everything. That's what I was saying the other day. It was funny because YouTube flagged that video immediately. Then they had to go back and unflag it. I was saying this the other day. I said, what the deep state underestimated, and they still don't see it, they spent $4 trillion on a marketing campaign to get everybody to do what they wanted them to do. And the people who held strong under the weight of that $4 trillion worldwide marketing campaign, if you couldn't bully them with that, you not finna bully them people at all. I'm sorry, you just not. If you couldn't weaponize their family, their friends, their job, every store, every location against them, and get them to get in line, then they ain't never getting in line with you. Ever. With nothing you do. The deep state might be coming to an understanding of that now, as they see these polls come out. Prior to this, they didn't understand it. I tell you who did understand it. The World Economic Forum got it. When you go watch their videos, oh, they got it. They understood it. That's why they came out saying, Klaus Schwab came out, and let me do Leroy Schwab. I'm Leroy Schwab. Trust has been broken. And what we have to do is we have to reestablish the trust in the world. The world is a less trusting place than it was 4 years ago. You're damn right it's less trusting place than it was 4 years ago because nobody don't trust you, homie. And there's nothing you can do to reestablish that trust. Think about the damage it did to the medical field as it pertains to people going to their doctors. I know friends now, right now, if they go into the doctor's office and the doctor's got a mask on, they switch doctors. Straight up. Don't have no conversations. I'm sorry, wrong doctor. And they've switched over and over and over again until they found somebody who they saw having some sense. And it is what it is. I have friends now, when they go to the doctor, I have friends who haven't been to the doctor at all, which is detrimental to their health completely. They need to go see a doctor. But I have friends now who when they go to the doctor and the doctor tells them they have something, they say, okay, thank you. I'm going to go research it myself and I'll come back to you and then we'll decide what we're going to do. Doctor said, well, you need to take this medicine. No, you can give me the list of the medicines. I'll go research the medicines. I'll come back and tell you what I want to be on, or if I think I actually need to be on it. That's what they did to the medical system. Homie, ain't nobody judging you if you took something to keep your career. Nobody mad at you. You know what I'm saying? And some people weren't. But you can't argue the fact that people definitely don't trust them now. That was the point I was making. You know what I'm saying? My man said, luckily for cryptos, because crypto saved them. Yeah, crypto saved a lot of people in this time period, man. Someone asked a question earlier, what do I think would happen to cryptos if there was a worldwide power outage? And it would go the way of the dodo bird. But I submit to you that this is how you know they can't have a worldwide power outage. Because all their systems and plans in the future are there to be power. Power, point blank, period. You can't have AI robots, electric cars if you ain't got no damn power. They ain't investing all that money into EVs, which blow up and burn, which you'll see a video in about an hour about that. They can't invest all that money into that and then just turn off the power grid. Sorry. They ain't gonna do it. Now, may they have a temporary power outage? Yeah, they might do that. But that is detrimental to them as well as us. You know what I'm saying? You dig? I was doing some study on some cryptos today. Some of the AI cryptos that they got coming out. Some of them are amazing. With the AI agents that do tasks for you, some of them are absolutely amazing. But the point I'm making is when you look at it from 100,000 foot view, yeah, they can turn it off for a little while, but they can't leave it off forever. They need it. The only way it goes out forever is they get throwing bombs around and you get EMP blasts going everywhere. Now, are they possible? Is it possible they would do that? I mean, it's a possibility, but that means they just went for broke. It ain't nobody got nothing. Their power goes away, our power goes away, everything goes away. And then they start, now all civility goes away and savagery kicks in with the understanding that the people who did it, everybody knows who they are. So they're going to be people in the streets rioting and fighting and looting. And there's going to be other people looking for them. And they ain't got enough AI robots. They ain't got enough AI facial recognition turrets. They ain't got what they need to defend themselves from 7 billion people, which they wanted to get rid of a lot more people than they got rid of. We still got a lot of people. They ain't got enough to stop them people from coming for them. And they gonna come. You know what I'm saying? They just don't. They just don't. Let's see what you were saying, brother. Gramps don't never hit nobody, bro. You must say some crazy stuff for Gramps to hit you. I ain't saying nothing too crazy. So yeah. Oh, it was an accident. It's all good. He'll be right back. You didn't ban him. I think you just put him in timeout. My bad. YL Yusuf L baby. I'll tell you the thing about the electric cars is this. I don't mind them having electric cars on the road, but don't try and make it to where only option I have is an electric car. If that man if he wanna make electric cars and people wanna ride around electric cars, which is deathmobiles that blow up on you, hey man, more power to you. But don't sit here and tell me I can't have my gas fuel power car. Don't sit here and tell me that's my only option. No, that ain't gonna work. If he wants to sell them, sell them. But don't sit here and tell me I can't have no other options. You know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna work. There's nothing wrong with having options. Problem is when they try and tell you what you gonna do? Therein lies the problem. Therein lies the problem. Who is Thomas getting ready to come out? I was trying to figure out which one I was gonna do this weekend between him and Father Walker. And I'm really not interested in doing any stories that have to do with monsters or cryptids or anything like that. But I will hit on all the hood stuff that I've never hit on before. And the Who is Thomas, I think we're in a spot where I should be able to do that without any problems, especially if it's on the website only. Some of that stuff can't come on YouTube at all. Like, it just cannot. That you don't even understand the levels of problems and issues talking about some of that stuff will bring. You know what I'm saying? It's insane. Mr. X Dreams, what turned me off the cryptids? Because cryptid field is full of witches, sorcerers, and diviners. And it's one of the fields to where when you have a skill set, you become one of the anchors of the field. But that field doesn't respect its anchors. And so they won't pull an anchor up and play games. I have skill sets that'll make me way more money. I submit to you, Mr. X Dreams, that I've been talking about what I do best and what I did for a living from the beginning. I would have 5 million subscribers. So my presence in that field was a gift. And I don't want to be in it anymore. And I refuse to hold it up anymore. When you think about it, X, how many interviews I did over the years? There's topics like Dogman, the topic itself wouldn't even be a topic the way it is if it wasn't for me. And so guess what? Let them devour themselves. I can tell you now, ain't nobody gonna prosper in that field. I promise you ain't nobody finna prosper in that field. And then when you add in the fact that that field is run by spirits, literally run by spirits. I mean, if you want to be in partnership with them, you in partnership with them. I don't want to be partnered with them. And I don't want to exalt them either. When you get to the truth of the matter, what Bigfoot, Dogman, all that stuff is, it all boils down to be demonic with a physical manifestation here and there. And that's all it is to it, homie. So let them have it. I've done better since I left. More views, multiple videos with millions of views since I decided to let people have it. I'm interested to see how it works out for them. And I turned down a lot of interviews. DW, want you to come talk about this? Nope. 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 So yeah, that's why. And extra reason why you get disillusioned with it, bro, is because you really find it's hard to find success. You have to have a certain set of skills to find success in a field that is full of spirits. You know what I'm saying? You dig? You definitely got to be in partnership with a different spirit than the one from that field. So you need a better partnership with a better spirit. Mine is the Holy Spirit. And on top of that, you got to have skills beyond everybody else. But you have that when it comes to telling stories. If y'all don't know, Mr. X Dreams is a phenomenal storyteller. Probably one of the best voices I've ever heard. I to this day still say he's got a better voice than me. We have a difference in worldviews, but you know what I'm saying is right as it pertains to that. Or you can just keep on trying and see. So back to what I was saying. Watch this. I'm interested. Today is Monday. I'm interested in seeing what the Friday news cycle looks like. I really am interested in seeing what the Friday news cycle looks like, because I don't see any way for Kamala to get any traction between now and Friday at all. I mean, if you really look at the cycle, what's going on, you got a war between Israel and Hamas and Hezbollah. That's dominating the news cycle. You had a week-long news cycle of the DNC, which was the week that they targeted to have in that cycle. And the following week, they couldn't capitalize on anything from the previous week. And it's important that when you're running a campaign, you be able to capitalize from week to week. And I just don't see, I don't see any way for them to capitalize. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see any way for them to capitalize on it. You start off the week with Tulsi Gabbard and giving an endorsement. You know what I'm saying? I ain't sure who. I got somebody this weekend. I got an interview set up for this weekend. That's what you're saying, Wes? I got an interview set up for this weekend? Anyway, text me, bro. We'll talk about it. But nonetheless, I just don't see how they get back in the news cycle on a positive foot. You know what I'm saying? I know that they were looking to get some streamers to stream with them, which would be some real controlled environment conversations. But the largest streamers in the world already turned them down. So I just don't see how they crack it. Like, just when Kai Cent turned them down and Aiden Ross turned them down, that's the two largest streamers in the world. When they turned them down, it was a problem. You can't rock with Mr. Beast because Mr. Beast got his controversy going on with the rest of the foolishness he got. Bringing rappers out didn't work. I want to say they brought Quavo out and Meg the Stallion. That ain't working because people in the hood see it as the only time you ever stand next to somebody that's from the hood is when you have an election. Now I can see if they was rolling with Quavo every day of the week. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody rolling with Quavo every day of the week. That ain't how that works. I don't think anybody need to be rolling with them every day of the week. So I just don't see it happening. Diddy's off the table. Vote or Die is gone because Diddy is a perv and he got busted. Jay-Z is being quiet. Beyonce is sitting in a corner because they know the community has turned and not really supporting them. So if they come out and stand next to the Democrats, their sales gonna drop and their streams gonna drop. So I don't know how they get no momentum. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how they get any momentum. And that's just me keeping it real with you. I just don't see how they get any momentum. Like, even if I was to put myself in the shoes of somebody trying to work for them and figure out a way for them to get momentum, I just don't see how you get any momentum. The only momentum I see is somebody need to take a shot at one of them and miss. That's it. That's the only play I see. And frankly, that won't stay in the news cycle for no more than a week. You know what I'm saying? That won't stay in the news cycle for more than a week. How did I learn about reptilians? I'm from New Orleans. We know about everything from New Orleans. That's like, right now, if you look on all over the place, people talking about the vampires in New Orleans. I was telling people about the vampires in New Orleans in 2016. Now everybody talking about there's vampires in New Orleans. 2016, I was telling you all the stuff that people telling you now. You know what I'm saying? When you're from a city where they got a little bit of everything, baby, you know about a little bit of everything. Yeah, but Steve Harvey, DL Hughley, and Ricky Smiley, ain't nobody paying no attention to them. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody paying no attention to DL. They don't really carry no weight. Not in this new social media environment. They don't carry no weight at all. Like they needed to get to the streamers. They need to get people that are dynamic personalities, like a Charleston White, like a Kai Cent. Like they need to get to the personalities that are now what Steve Harvey and them used to be 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? I used to be in the 6th ward, and boy, is the 9 spooky. New Orleans is spooky, though. For more than one reason. New Orleans is spooky, Rochester's spooky. So I just don't see it, guys. I want to see how it would be done, but I just don't see how you get it done. I want to see how it can be done so I can make some phone calls and tell people to watch out for it, but I don't see nothing they can do. I really don't see nothing they can do. Outside of an emotional attachment that people have based on perceived slights or based on real slights that they've experienced in their life, the choice that people have is to vote based on their emotions and personal experience with, be it racism in some way, shape, or form, and yeah, and their family's future. And when we say family's future, I literally mean what you see every day. So you voting between somebody telling you that you're being treated unfairly or some unfair treatment that you had in the past, and how much you're gonna pay for gas, how much you're paying for groceries, how much the housing prices are, how high the loan interest rates are, and it's just too much. You know what I'm saying? Too much. Sydney, you should go listen to the old content instead of like asking a stream about stuff that I just told you about. Like you should go listen. All the old paranormal content is still there for now. Like go listen. You know what I'm saying? Everything is there. I got like 200, then 300, 327 interviews. You know what I'm saying? You can type Dark Waters interview and watch what you find. Plenty of stuff out there. Plenty of stuff. Plenty of old stuff. Yeah, and that's the problem that you face. Look at that spider. Come here, buddy. Get out of here. Go build a web somewhere else. Be good now. Don't try and build no web around here. Yeah, everything is going up, and that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like you can get away with stuff like that when there ain't no inflation and people ain't struggling. People start struggling, they start looking for answers. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the old content has already come down. It ain't gone. It just ain't up there no more. So when people decide they're gonna try and re-upload it, I can copyright them. When I walk away from something, bro, I walk away from it. You dig? That's like the other day. Watch this. I wanted some Skittles. I went to the gas station to buy a pack of Skittles. A pack of Skittles was $3.48. I left them Skittles sitting right there. Now you're not about to charge me $3 for something that's gonna kill me. That's crazy. And they sat right there on the counter for some Skittles. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to give that advice 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D, but thank you. You dig? Oh, I know what it is. But I'll have me 2-3 Skittles. I'll buy a pack of Skittles and eat two a day, 3 a day. I ain't gonna eat the whole damn pack. A pack of Skittles will last me for damn near a month. But I ain't paying no. I can promise you this. I ain't gonna be buying no damn Skittles at no $3. You ain't got to worry about me eating no damn Skittles at no $3. That's a done deal. You know what I'm saying? We ain't doing that. That's dumb. That's just stupid. You gonna kill me? At least kill me. Make it cheap for me to kill myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make it expensive when I'm gonna kill myself. All right, guys. I am going to holler at y'all later. I need to go do another thumbnail for this video for the night. And then I'm finna go chill. Have me some broccoli and some cauliflower. I really love roasted cauliflower, man. I don't like what it do to you the next morning, but I like me some roasted cauliflower. Deuces.